for having us, Dale. Wendy and I are super excited to be here today, and you guys have an amazing new youth group center. This is awesome. This is probably like the best in town. Your shoe and everything. Okay, so we are talking about a really sensitive subject today. We're going to be talking about abortion, and we want to talk about it because we don't really think that people talk about it. You know, it's something that it's close to my heart, and I thought I could tell you my story, why I'm so passionate about this subject. I grew up probably like a lot of you guys, going to youth group and youth camps and stuff like that. Christian family, and even in high school, I did the pro-life, like in speech class. I brought in the baby models and did the pro-life deal. And anyways, when I was actually just a couple years ago, when I think it's turned off.
No, you're good. Just keep talking. I'm adjusting.
Okay. When I was pregnant with my my only little baby, he's 2 right now, I found out that my cousin, who's super, super close to our family, you know, grew up the same way that I did in a Christian home and, you know, supposed to be pro-life. I found out that she had an abortion when she was in high school, and it just blew me away because I thought, you know, it just...
All the education when you grew up.
Yeah, the way we grew up.
Yeah. I think, I don't think that's working. I can just talk loud.
And I think it impacted me especially a lot because at that time I was just newly pregnant, and so, you know, I'd planned out this pregnancy. I'd been married for a long time, and you know, before I even got pregnant, I was making sure that I took my prenatal vitamins, and that when I was, you know, that I was eating my greens, because that's supposed to help with brain development, and there's so many things that you want to make sure that your baby, you know, has the very best it can have, starting from a tiny, tiny little speck. And to think at the same time that someone so, so close to me, you know, a really close person, made a choice to take away that tiny little life. So it really hit me hard, I think. And I think it's extra sad because she was 16. Her parents didn't know that she was being sexually active. It was like her first real boyfriend. And so, you know, she made that choice that she knew she shouldn't be doing, and then came you know, she got pregnant, and she wanted to keep it secret. She didn't want to be, you know, a teen mom. She didn't want, in high school. She didn't want to let our family down, you know, knowing the way that we were all raised. And so she and her boyfriend helped her. He's, I mean, you know, super supportive guy, and helped her, went with her, and they got the abortion, and they didn't ever really talk about it again. And she lived with that pain by herself, basically, for like a whole year. She cried herself to sleep every single night. And it just breaks my heart thinking about what she went through. And so I think my passion comes from, you know, my cousin and her story that she had. I think that's why I started. Do you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just going to talk about how her cousin cried by herself every night. And it's so important because women, when they lose a child, there's this specific wail. It's like this depressing, loud wail cry that comes out, and it's a part of the healing process. But when women have abortions, it's so secretive. The minute you walk out the door, no one's going to mention it again. No one's going to talk about it. And these women sometimes suffer for 30, for 40 years in silence by themselves with a list of depression, and it's like increases the chance of teen suicide. It just goes on and on about what these girls and these women suffer with alone by themselves. So I think, Alicia, you're going to talk a little bit about statistics.
Yeah, the statistics. Because basically, once I found out about this, I thought, I've got to do something. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I have to reach out and help somebody else make the right choice so that something like that doesn't happen to them. So I started doing the research on the statistics, and come to find out, pretty much everyone in this room is probably fairly directly related to abortion. I mean, because we found out that 43% of women, by the time they're 45, have had at least one abortion. I mean, that's
almost
huge.
half. That's almost half of women on the planet. So that means you guys are directly, you'll know somebody that has an abortion, but it just might be secretive and you never knew. It might be someone real close to you.
Well, yeah, I didn't know about my cousin for really, it was like a year and a half after it happened that I found out. So, anyways, let's go over a few of the statistics here. So, imagine a national tragedy where all the people that live in these states that are in black, imagine that they're just wiped out. They're gone. They're no longer here. You know, kind of like Sandy Hook or 9/11, but to a way, way bigger, larger scale. That's actually truly what has happened legally in the United States since 1973, since it became legal to abort little babies. So we kind of, in my mind, it's like a silent Holocaust that we're living through. And really, this is a historical time. I mean, no other time in the world have people been, you know, extinguishing themselves at such high rates. You know, 3,700 babies every single day are aborted. And that, if you can picture your high school assembly, you know, it's totally full, tons of people in your gym, and then just imagine in one day they're all gone, like maybe a bomb went off, okay? And then later that afternoon you're going to fill up that whole entire McMinnville High School gym again with another assembly. All those people are gone. And that's just every day, just in the United States. So that's like huge, huge numbers. And it's weird that nobody talks about it, that we don't know this. It's not a common fact, I mean, for people to be aware of. And then in Oregon, there's 36 abortions every day. So if you think of your Spanish class yesterday that you went to, imagine every single kid in that class just gone.
Nice.
And then maybe today, your math class that you were at had about 36 people maybe, and imagine all of them gone today. That's just in Oregon. Another thing I found out was going to the CDC website. I looked up what's the leading cause of death, and heart disease and cancer and respiratory disease were the top. If you combine those three top reasons that people die in the United States, it doesn't even equal how many people die of just abortion. And you know, think about the things that we do to help prevent heart disease, you know, or, you know, you always hear about people trying to find a cure for cancer, but you don't really hear a lot about people trying to prevent abortion, which is, you know, this is another really interesting thing to me. I don't think, it's probably pretty blurry, but this is American war casualties, and the very top one up there is the Civil War. And those are actually little crosses, all of these things. So the crosses represent 50,000 people. So approximately, what is it, about 500,000 people died in the Civil War. And then it's got World War I, World War II, on down to Vietnam. And then this is how many of our people are dying because of abortion. So it's like war on ourselves, in a way. And then just to show you worldwide, it's not just in America where it's legal here, but you know, China has the one-child policy where they're pretty much only allowed to have one kid. And so a lot of times they'll try to pick having a male because that's the one who will carry down their family name, and he'll be the one to take care of the parents when they get older. And so China has actually aborted, now they do about at least 13 million every single year, not many people, but they're actually missing 160 million females from their population, and that's a huge number. It's hard to get your mind around it, but if you took every single woman, every single female in the United States, that's 160 million, and China is just missing them. So Wendy, do you want to?
Okay, I know we're jam-packed. You guys have tons of information. But first, I just want to give you guys a quick